me. I hope that all is going well with you. I'm in the old spot tonight. I just can't get back in the back, and just definitely looking forward to having a good chat with everyone. Um, Tonight, our conversation as we close out the year 2021, entering the year 2022. First of all, I want to send a big shout out to my brothers of the craft, Mystic Lodge, over in the UK. Happy New Year to you right now. I know it's late. I know it's got to be almost like going on 6 in the morning your time, whereas now it's about going on about 6 at night here on the Pacific Coast Standard Time. So definitely big shout out to Mystic Lodge. Big shout out to my brothers and sisters over in Africa. Love you all. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much it means to me when I hear from you, be it by a phone call or even through just being here on the YouTube channel with me. So sending a big shout out to you. Greetings, everyone. Definitely, as you enter the chat tonight, do me a favor and put in your lodge. Send them a big shout out. Happy New Year to everyone. Definitely want to do that as you come on. Please, wherever you're at this day, I hope and I pray that you're safe. That is what is most important right now, is that you remain safe. There's so much happening out there tonight. So please, as you begin your celebration, be somewhere safe. Don't leave. Don't drive drunk. Definitely make sure you take care of yourself and just be safe. And just make sure you're in a safe spot. What's up, Bruce Wayne? I'm going to share this with you for some of you who don't know. I was kicked off Facebook. I don't know what exactly happened. I do know. I do have an idea. Somebody gave me some insight on something that happened. So if you was looking for me on Facebook and I'm not there, it's all good. But tonight's topic is going to be I am that I am. And we're going to look at that and see what's happening with that. So please, as you come on, just give your lodge a big shout out tonight. Definitely, it's been a long 2021. This year has had a lot of ups and downs. A lot of brothers of the craft and sisters of the order did not make it through this year. I myself had to bury my brother and a sister, a member of the Eastern Star. There's been death. I mean, we've been dealing with a lot. So we're going to keep it a little light tonight, but yet a little serious. We're going to get right into it. I am the beginning. Go on, talk back to me, you bad son, boy. Talk back to me. So I'm looking forward to having a good conversation with you tonight. If you want to call in, if you want to do that, you're certainly welcome to do that. None, hide all chat. Nope, I don't want to do that. If you want to call in tonight, please do so. The call in number, hey, brother Brandon Lewis. Better White was, oh yeah. Betty White was so close to making 100. She was so close. Definitely sending a big shout out. In her passing, may she rest in peace. Brother Brandon, could you please put in the chat for me a phone number? That number is 619-286-0642. If anyone want to call in and just have a real good conversation, a topic of discussion as we get ready to close out this year. The only thing for me this year that has passed is that, wow, so much has happened. I'm going to say this. I'm looking for a better 2022. I'm just looking for a better 2022. To be totally honest, I believe that, sometimes, life throws you a curve and you have to stand in the batter's box to try to hit it, and even if you strike out, at least you got to get back up and you got to get back into the batter's box. And I'm quite sure life has thrown many of us a curve. That's right. So once again, if you don't mind, that phone number is 619-286-0642 is the call-in number. Happy New Year to everybody who's coming on tonight. Please be safe where you at, wherever you may be at. So I'm closing out the night's topic and conversation. I'm where I'm started at. You're right. This is the spot I started in. I'm back here tonight. I think I've only done like one or two shows this year from this spot. This is where it all started at. And for those who've been here all that length of time, I appreciate you. You must be feeling better. You sound like you do. Oh man, yeah, I am feeling better. I can't complain about it. I sure can't. Brother Michael White, my heart goes out to you. I hope that you are doing well yourself, my brother. I really do. So we're going to get right into this topic of discussion. I am that I am. It is said that a people or an individual who doesn't know his history or his heritage is like a tree without roots. To read that and to understand that and to say I am that I am, what does that really mean? How do you as a Freemason encompass that mere fact? When you hear those words and you've gone into the middle chambers or the upper chambers and the holies of holies, the holies of holies, when you've entered that room and you hear that I am, what does that encompass to you? What does that mean to you? Well, tonight, for me to hear that clearly states for me is that I have, if I choose to, I have the power of my own destination that lays in my hands. I have that power to choose the doors that I would like to enter. I have that power. When it says I am that I am, it means so much more than just those mere words. It reminds me of a scripture in the Bible to where when Moses came to see Pharaoh, and it was sort of funny that when he walked up to him, there was a couple of things that took place. So when Moses approached Pharaoh, and even Pharaoh sent out the two entertainers, for lack of a better word, the magicians. When he sent out the magicians, Moses laid his rod down and turned into a snake, and Pharaoh in like manner did the same. However, Moses' staff, his rod, swallowed up those two snakes or those other two reptiles. And Pharaoh was pretty amazed at that. And the question that Pharaoh was asking, well, who sent you? I am sent me. So when you hear I am that I am, it must resonate in your whole being. Too many times, including myself, I've gotten lost in the small talk of things. This year that lies ahead, that I'm looking forward to, is going to be a big year. And when I say a big year, there's some things Masonically that's going to take place. If all goes well, it's going to really shake up a whole lot of different jurisdictions, and it's going to shake up the fraternal order, period. It really is. And I can't wait. The ideal is I can't run around telling everybody what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. I can just tell you that I can't wait until the 2022 kicks off. It's going to have a start, a big bang. And I'm looking forward to it because there's so many interesting things that are happening that's going to resonate with a lot of brothers from various jurisdictions. And that's the beauty of it all. So once again, going back to tonight's topic, I am that I am, when you hear that, it resonates with me. And that means that the person or individual knows exactly who he is. When I hear I am that I am, I know exactly who I am. In hearing Moses tell Pharaoh that he knew exactly who sent him and he knew his mission. A lot of us don't have or know our missions. A lot of us just going through life and proclaiming to be Freemasons and all other sorts of things, and really just you're a part of it, but you don't really understand the society of Freemasons that you are a part of. No matter how you break it down, because you're just enjoying a ride. You're not really participating and understanding it because you're limited by the very means of you just saying, I can't go here or I can't do that. You have already limited yourself to a society that's bigger than you are. So when I hear I am that I am, it resonates man, I can't find words to really put it into perspective of what it does to me as an individual who knows exactly who he is and can take on the mission that has been laid before him. Most of us don't know our mission in life. Most of us don't. We just go through life. You have to know your purpose, your being, for being here, in order that when it's all said and done, you would know that your mission is complete. For you to be here and not know your purpose is crazy. It's unreal. For you to walk through life and not know your purpose and know exactly who you are, your heritage, and where you have to go, where you have to move. How far do I have to move the needle or head? That's crazy. So greetings to everyone who's coming on. What's up, Richard? How you doing? I am that I am, and together we are the universe. It's you and I versus... Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, man, I got one question for you, Richard. One question only. Are you in the appending bodies, the Scottish Rite side of Freemason? That's a yes or a no. Because your statement here says a lot. I'm just going to say that. I don't know your degree work. I don't even know if you're a Mason or not, Brother Richard Douglas. I don't know, but your statement says a lot. And I've only seen that statement, Masonically speaking, it's in a particular degree. And that's truth. Okay, I am that I am in reference to the beginning, which means the totality of existing. We are human beings, which are descriptions of God in the human form. Absolutely. But most of us can't accept the fact that you are. Most of us are afraid of exactly who we are. We are afraid to show the example of God because we're too busy doing other things. You'd rather prefer to show the example of the negative instead of the positive because you're dealing with two types of energies, and I say that because when I think of God, I think of the creator of everything, good and evil. It is how you take that and apply that. See, most people can't see it. Most people say, well, God and Satan can't get along, but God invented Satan. Or did the church invent Satan? But however, we talk about this negative energy in the like manner that it was a fallen angel. It being a fallen angel was created by God, by the all internal, by that being it was created. I'm just saying. If you want to have a conversation with us tonight, please do call in. Put that number back in the chat for me there, Brother Lewis. Brother Lewis, want to wish you a happy new year and to your family, to your whole entire jurisdiction, the Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Tennessee. Big shout out to you. I hope that you prosper this incoming year, and I hope everything works out for you and yours. Big shout out to you. Definitely that. Good evening, everybody who's tuning in tonight. As I said earlier, please be safe. We're talking about I am tonight. I am that I am. What does that encompass? What does that mean to you? So we're having this open conversation, this dialogue. This is the last Yahoo as we begin to enter into 2022. Oh my goodness. 2022. Woo, my God. Hello? Hey, I'm doing well. Hold on a second. Go ahead and talk to me.
Hey, brother. I just want first thing I got to wish you a happy new year and everybody listening in. Number two, also I got to tell you thank you because you're always there for me when I need you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Number three, I want to say this, address what you're saying about tonight. So, Moses walks into the court, right?
Right.
With Pharaoh. And, just as you described, Pharaoh ends up asking him the question after this contest. Who sent you? He says, I am that I am sent him, okay?
Uh-huh.
And I am that I am is a very interesting phrase because what Moses is saying in a more abstract sense is that the awareness that is aware, okay, of itself. I say that again. The awareness that is aware of itself and is the source of all other awareness sent me to tell you that you are not it.
I likes that. I likes that.
Okay. But I also want to share this with you. So I had a conversation with a brother. Well, it was Hafiz of Quran, right?
Uh-huh.
He studied that. It goes right back to this I am that I am. He says, he's a Hafiz of Quran. So when he was in school studying, because you got to memorize the whole Quran, right?
Right.
And one of his classmates raised his hand, asked the instructor, he said, I got a question for you. He says, what? He says, could Allah create another Allah? Could God create another God? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of the class looked at him like, oh my God, I can't believe he asked such a stupid question. You know, everybody fell out on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is down in, like, I think South Africa is where he come in. He was down in South Africa. Anyway, he said, the instructor calmed the class down. Yeah, well, let's really analyze this. It gets back to the I am that I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
The awareness that is aware of itself and is the source of all other awareness. He said, yes, Allah could create another Allah, but it would take Allah to teach that other creation how to be Allah. It would take that God to teach the other God how to be God, right?
Right.
Okay, well, it's the same thing that we learning about, really. For those that can catch it. Now, I know I'm saying some profound stuff here.
Well, but I'm going to add to what you're saying.
Okay.
Because a lot of us don't know, because we are kind of caught up in a situation of noise, and we have not yet learned how to quieten our mind. So we don't get that opportunity to see things as it should be seen because of the noise, like white noise. I'm not sure if you're familiar with vibrations and white noise and how they send sound and how they send messages through noise, but this is where a lot of us are caught up at. And we can't get past the noise because we have yet to understand why we even part of this society of Freemason. And I would like to say that the diaspora of Freemasonry, not just the society, but the diaspora of Freemasonry, because although we talk about how big and how beautiful it is and all of that, but we at times forget about the whole concept and what the principles of it.
I don't, in one way, brother, I don't know if we forget something that we haven't studied.
Oh, well. Okay. All right.
I mean, it's a situation, you know, like if you're dealing with, you know, like what they call muscle memory, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, something that I was taught when I was a kid. I remember that I forget that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that I trained to do something so much that I actually forgot how to do it the wrong way.
Ooh.
But I always do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So to the point where it's not in the intellectual mind anymore. It's just something that I'm doing, like dialing an old telephone number. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. Like, you know how to dial your mother's old phone number.
Yeah, it's still there. I ain't gonna even lie to you. It's there, bruh.
This is muscle memory, right? Okay.
Yep.
So, I'm saying I'd like to get back to, you know, brother, we take FC, and some of us even go up through, you know, the other houses, particularly the consistory. And, you know, the consistory is where you go to get the real education, you know, for those that want to know.
I'm going to say this, and bear with me just for a second, because Richard Douglas just posted something. He says, once I stopped looking for God on the outside. I found God truly dwelling within. We must dive deeper inside ourselves and deal with our fears in vices in order to realize I am that I am. That is so profound. That is so right on point. That's why I asked Brother Richard, was he ever a member of the appending bodies? Because in the appending degrees, you find a lot of philosophy in things in the opening ceremonies that are at work. And what I've learned is that in Freemasonry, and I've said it before, it deals with life and death in every degree. Every degree. There's not one degree that you receive or go through in Freemasonry, it doesn't deal with life and death. Not one. And this is why it's so important to what Brother Richard just said. You know, once you stop looking for God on the outside and you start dealing with what's in the inside of you, you become so, man, it's different. It's hard to explain if you haven't been there. That's why I said this here. I said that and most people know this, when you call the police and they say it's a black man, they show up in force because they already know.
Correct.
But if you say, oh, I got this white guy, you might get one, maybe two show up.
Right.
But that's the difference, because when other people know who you are and you don't know, you're in a sad state.
Well, you're right. In that context, brother, it was a man in Virginia. I forgot his name, but he wrote a whole piece. It's in a legal book. And he says, we got to keep the light from these people.
That was a congressman who wrote that. I know that statement. It was a congressman.
It was a congressman.
Yeah, it was a congressman who said that. He said we need to keep them lower than the beast of the field, keeping all light of knowledge of who they are from themselves. He said that.
Right. Okay. So now that's what's used as a weapon. They try to use the ignorance as a weapon. All right.
Yeah.
But if you come through the Blue House and you paid attention to just the Blue House, right?
Uh-huh.
It tells you that being in a state of ignorance is unbefitting for a man.
I like that.
Okay? So, Brother Douglas mentioned 3 of the main enemies.
He did. That's what caught my eye. That's why I asked him if he was a member of the appending bodies, because
right.
You know where I'm at. Go ahead.
I really do. But the first enemy is ignorance.
And you know,
before you can get to the other 3 enemies, the first enemy is ignorance.
Yep.
You learned about the first enemy in the Blue House.
Absolutely.
Then they tell you how to wage war against that enemy in the next, as it goes on.
It does. It does.
So, it's a big thing. Then when you get before you get to the top, okay, right before that point, they tell you, hey, reflect back on what you learned.
Yep.
In this point, right?
And that's why the fellowcraft degree is so important. Because in the fellowcraft degree, it opens up the door to everything.
Yes, it does.
But it's up to you, as Brother Douglas just put in there, it's up to you to dive in and get that. Nobody's going to give that to you. And a lot of people who become Freemasons, they become disappointed because they're looking for this aha moment, not knowing that they're the aha, not knowing that if they choose to open the door and walk through it and discover exactly who they are in the scheme of things, the light will come on. It will definitely come on.
It goes back something to say, like, not only will the light go on, but it's something that people misquote. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall not set, but it will make you free. Okay? Meaning that a choice will be taken away from you.
Uh-huh.
You will not have a choice to be like, oh, I'm going to be confused, I'm going to be asleep, I'm going to go back into the matrix. You're not going to do that, okay? You will know the truth, and the truth will make you free.
And
Okay.
you can't go back. I mean, once you have been allowed, or once you have been touched, once you have been awoke, once whatever you want to call it, once that light goes on, you can't go back to sleep.
In no way, shape, or form can you go back.
None.
You can't go back.
And if you try to go back to sleep, you're gonna have some nightmares.
Right.
This is why, even for me, as this year has, I've dove more into learning about the ancestors and how can I summon the ancestors. That is what I really dove into this year and discovered. Okay, you know what? Everybody else talks about their ancestors. Every other culture that I read about, that I've come across, they talk about their ancestors. But we who are here in America, African Americans, we don't dare do that. We find that it's like something taboo. But when you let go of that and you begin to indulge and to be able to talk to your parents who may be deceased, or your brothers, or whoever that close person may be, you're going to find comfort. But we don't do that. But we'll talk to Jesus, who none of us have ever seen, but we've only heard of the name of the Messiah, Emmanuel. We've only heard the name, but we've never seen him. But we'll talk to him. We go to church every Sunday, most of us. But when somebody say, talk to your mother, call on your mother, she's going to call on your father. Oh, man, I ain't doing that, man. Why? So this year for me that has passed, for me to get where I'm at right now,
Yep.
I set that altar up. I began to do certain things and to manifest and begin to bring in that energy in such a way till I'm comfortable. I was telling somebody the other day, man, working in the medical field has done something to me. I'm going to say that because I've seen so many different facets. I've seen autopsies. I've gone in, we cut them up, we pull out everything. We cut the brain. I've seen it all, touched it all, looking at it, smelt it, did that. And it's freaking amazing.
Yep.
Okay, I've held people in my arms dying. I mean dying, gone. I've done that, and I've done it so often. And I look at Freemasonry, as I said earlier, it's life and death. And what I've learned is that you're going to leave this place. Don't be afraid. Because you're going to leave. You're living to die.
Right.
And you're born to die. You're living to die. You're going to leave here. I don't know the expiration date, but the fact of the matter is you're going to leave. The other part is, what have you done while you was here? Because that's your purpose.
Yep.
You know? And in finding that, it's crazy because I have been personally able to build relationships with you and many other brothers of the craft and sisters of the order across the spectrum. And what I've enjoyed is that brothers will tell me, hey man, you know what, you let that go. And I listen to them. As a past Grand Master, most people say, man, in my jurisdiction, we can't go up and talk to a Grand Master like that. We gotta, we can't just, it's like, nah, man, he's just like you. He's in a lodge.
Correct.
He's a member of a lodge. He's just like you. But
what it is that we haven't, we don't study the material at the level that we should.
Right?
So since we don't study it, we don't know how to apply it. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And since we don't know how to apply the methodology, the science of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then that's how come it inhibits us as a fraternal order, because that's part of the blessing of the fraternity, right?
Right.
Is the ability to deal with each other on the level and on the square. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So since we thinking that this hierarchy exists in such a way that it'll separate us, we thinking like like the kings, right?
Right, right.
Right, whereas that's not the model that we actually working under.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is a hierarchy in a way, all right, but it's not like the hierarchy of the kings.
Right, right.
So since we don't get it, if you talk to the average person that's in the Christian faith, right?
Uh-huh.
Talk to the average Muslim. You talk to the average Buddhist, right? Common people was walking up talking to these men.
Right.
Okay? So if common people was walking up talking to these men, what happened that common people can't walk up and talk to person X? This got such and such title, representing the state or something. You see what I mean?
Right, right.
I don't want to call no distinct names because I don't mean nobody indistinct, right?
Uh-huh.
But you get what I'm saying.
I get it. I get it.
Okay? So we lose that. But the reason why we lose that is because we not, you go up through them other degrees, past the Blue House, whether York right or the consistory, and we don't study that material. We may know the ritual, but we don't study the material.
Well, a lot of us don't even know the ritual because let's be honest, if you legitimately had those degrees and you met every month, that means you would have to meet twice a week for every meeting to take place for the year. So, like in my own jurisdiction, what we have found the simplest way of doing this is to have classes and go through the degree work under your classes. Everybody's not going to make the class. Everybody's not going to make your meetings, but it's there and it's offered. And the important thing I've learned and have seen in the works is that keeps the individuals excited. You have to give brothers something to do. You have to give sisters something to do. You just can't have a brother or a sister to join this society and not have anything to do, not partake in it. It's for naught. Then they can go out and party with anybody. They can go out and fellowship with anybody. But in this place, this thing we call Freemasons in the Order of the Eastern Star, it is in this place that you learn in regards to the I don't want to always say esoteric. I want to say the deeper meaning and mysteries of that which lies in front of you. The hidden, the coded things that you may see. It's right there. And trust me, Freemasonry is coded. I don't care what nobody say.
But you have to code it, okay? The reason why it has to be coded, right? Is like water, the consciousness of man seeks its own level.
Right.
Okay. And if we start feeding the person information that was that is above their level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they may freak out. Some people even become violent. I mean that is like flat. It's just people become violent. It's an actual phrase. They go into cognitive dissonance, right?
Wow. Yeah,
it's an actual psychological state. Okay? So there was a stonemason in Athens who the state had him killed. Okay, he's an example. Okay.
Okay.
This is why you can't walk around telling everybody everything. All right.
That's true.
Okay. Moses got put out of Egypt. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Moses, I know what you talk about, and I know what you're saying. We came up in the same school, all right? But we making money off this situation. You can't be telling the people that. I can kill you, but you got to go. Okay, take all the people with you, right? Read the 255th verse of the second chapter in the Quran. It says no compulsion in this faith, all right? So I'm bringing all these three things together to show you that the people that set the standard standards for what the craft is supposed to follow have always known, oh, we can't tell everybody everything at the same level.
That makes a lot of sense. The way you're right. You can't tell it. Yeah, that I want, and I do agree. I'm gonna share this with you. I have a brother who's part of the Grand Lodge of California, and he and I talk. We fellowship. We break bread all the time, and he broke down some things to me that was very interesting, and he told me this. He said the Scottish Rite body, they run a lot of shit. Plain and simple. I mean, to cut through all the kudos and stuff. He told me this. He was like, bro, Hawkins, let me tell you, where I'm at, you got to come with some cheese. I was like, what? Oh, bro. And he told me some things I would not share here, but if you call me back, I can share it with you offline. But he's told me some things, and I was like, dude, he was like, bro, Hawkins, see, I'm not gonna say that part. But what he shared with me is stuff that I knew, but for somebody to confirm what you know is like, okay, I see why these things keep happening, and I see why we are where we're at. You know, for the most part. Unless you have been there, you won't know.
Right. Because it's a certain, okay, let's look at it like this. I read this on a social media report. It was said on social media, on Twitter, NASA just recently hired 24 theologians, okay? All different religions.
Wait a minute. Back up. Repeat that again. NASA just did what?
NASA. Okay, this is on social media. I read this on Twitter. NASA just hired 24 different theologians. When I say theologians, for those that may not know what I mean, I'm talking about not just Christians, like priests and ministers.
Right.
Okay, Catholic priests, but like Baptist ministers. We're talking about Hindus, rabbis, imams from Islam. Okay, all over, right? All over the world. And they asked the question saying, like, if we reveal this information, how do you think the people in your given religion will interact? How will your community react, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm bringing that up not to talk about, you know, the outer space part of it, but I'm bringing that up to say that there has to be a hidden core. There has to be a preparation for the receiving of new information and new knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't prepare yourself and the people for the receiving of new information and new knowledge, you get chaos.
Oh, bruh. Yeah, you do. Oh, that's no doubt about it. You would definitely get chaos. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it at all.
Yeah, so and that's one of the enemies, okay? So since we trying to keep out the chaos, that's why we got these steps, gradients, and ladders. That's why we have these symbols, so that the mind can like grasp it, so it can circumvent the intellectual and speak to the subconscious.
That is correct. That is correct. But a lot of us don't get into that matter of Freemasonry to where you're able to travel up these different levels. Because a lot of us get into Freemasonry because we want to have a good time. We want to party. We want to go to the Playhouse of Masonry. They call that the shrine. This is where we want to go. We want to go hang out with them guys. You know, we want to stop by the well of Zim and we want to drink the camel's milk. Not knowing that when you become a Shriner, oh man, none of that stuff exists truly. I mean, in the essence of being a Shriner, the bull stuff that they tell you, that is not to take place. That stuff, the Playhouse, Shrinum is, and I know I switched it, but you bringing that part up made me think of that. That's not a playhouse.
It's not a playhouse at all, brother. If they really knew what Shrinum was saying to you, okay, at a deep, deep level, okay, it would cause a lot of problems because it would cause problems with people because they would have to rethink the way that they behave, okay, and the way that they represent, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the essence, the core of the craft. Yes, it is all over the world and it's recorded throughout time. I can track it and show it to a person now. Okay, there's things that even Muhammad peace be upon him said that I'm like that sounds like the craft. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm getting back at is that it takes time for even the people that's in the craft. All right.
Right.
So what we could do a better job at teaching. Like, okay, so you coming up through the consistory. This is a university.
Right.
I want you to know that. You see what I'm saying? And we could do a little bit better. You got to look at I say it directly. You got to look at black culture and the way black culture deal with knowledge. The way black culture deal with the human problem of ignorance. Okay.
Right.
So it become an issue to people. All right. The way we deal with it. Some of us, not all of us, some of us think, oh, you got some education. Oh, I can put you out the race now. Or I got some education. I'm not like these people anymore. You see what I mean? So you get problems both inside and out in that context, right? So I mean, you just look at it. I mean, look at the behavior of some of these people. There's whole books written on that about the black bourgeoisie. Okay, and
right.
The crisis that can cause. What happens when we actually understand just what's actually going on with us, right?
So, and when you say that, that's why it's important for brothers of the craft to stop the inner bickering and to stop the BS that we put on each other. You know, I'm not saying can we all get along. I'm saying can we all respect each other. I've been saying that from day one. However, I even find myself at times at battles, at wit's end about some nonsense. However, that doesn't give me I must be able to come back and understand and say, look, I have to do better. I have to set the example. I have to go deeper, as Brother Douglas said. I have to go deeper. You know, and if go ahead.
I said I'm agreeing with you. I'm just testifying with you.
Yeah, and if I can't go deeper, and be that example of which I claim that I am, right back to it, then what use is it? What use is this platform if it can't change individuals who are Masons to become better Masons, to respect other jurisdictions? What use is this platform if it can't inspire you to be the best example of a Mason that you can be? What good is this platform if it can't inspire you to say, hey, look, man, yeah, you know, I can do better. If it can't inspire you, this platform is no good. But I believe because of the contacts that I've had and the conversations that I've had with many people, this platform is open to those who want to enjoy the craft and talk about the beauty and the experience that the craft has shown them. And not all the BS that we bring into it, because a lot of us bring our own BS into the craft and it just spills over.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you, and I'm being cautious. That's why I'm stumbling with my words.
We all should always be cautious. Go ahead.
So, when we come in, right, to the Blue House, right?
Right.
we start talking about these two men. Okay, they both got the same name. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about. Right?
Yep, I'm with you.
Okay, so now with these two men, we never stop and investigate why is it that every time we come to this point, right, between here and 32 that I at least know of, right,
Mm-hmm.
that we always mention these two men, okay?
Right.
So then we got to ask ourselves the question, well, what was so special about these two men? Okay, all right? Well, one of the guys had a brotherhood. Okay, let's say it like that.
Right.
He was a member of a brotherhood himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is literal history and artifacts and writings left of this brotherhood, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And when they find the documents of this particular brotherhood in the early 20th century, like 1921, okay?
Is that the ones they found hidden in the mountains or in the desert? It was in a clay jar?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We on the same page.
Okay.
Okay. I forgot the name of that movie. Well, it wasn't Prophecy, but go watch the movie Stigmata. The first 10
Yes.
minutes of the movie Stigmata, and they'll understand what I'm talking about.
Where the little kid was in the desert, and I think he threw something, he hit a jar.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay.
So when you find the writings of that brother and his brotherhood, and you see how they embraced each other, how they took care of each other, how they loved one another, right?
Right.
That's what we need to be emulating. That's why we always speak of that brother.
Gotcha.
Okay? Not to mention that he was so high up that he initiated this other brother, his cousin, is more famous.
He did initiate him, did he not?
Did he? There you go.
But see, I know where you're going. And I said that once before, and people like, what? Yeah, that guy went through a process to get to where he had to be because his purpose was so much more than his cousin. His cousin laid the groundwork.
There you go.
Okay, his cousin laid the groundwork. He comes in, he gets initiated.
Correct.
Once he's initiated, now he's in this line. He's in the line.
Right.
He's, like we get into a line. When we get initiated, and then we get into the line. It started from one of the stewards and work your way around, but we are now in the line.
Correct.
Just as when he got initiated, he's in that line. He's part of that line.
There you go.
So yeah, go ahead, bro. I'm with you. I'm with you so far. I'm tracking.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that if we looked at that's just one. That's just one of the guys. That's just one. You say, well, what's so special about him? Oh, these brothers, they had whole. You can go back and find whole fortresses that they had built. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can go back and look at how they preserved this information, this knowledge, that people could find it 2,000 years later. It's the same information, okay? Saying, no, this is what we was actually talking about.
Right.
All right? So you got to think about that notion about the preservation of information and of knowledge amongst a fraternal order, all right?
Right.
That's who we supposed to be imitating, but we don't even know who we supposed to be imitating.
It's funny you say that because speaking of these two groups, because the cousins each had their own set, right? They each had their own crew.
Right. That's right.
So it was asked that one of them, he said, how is it that we never get the opportunity to interact with them, in so many words, as they were sitting around a campfire.
Right.
And
right.
the cousin was saying, you know what? It is my job to lay the foundation for him who's coming.
There you go.
So I got my crew. You rolling with me, right? And he got his.
Okay, so let me bring it all. Let's bring it all the way around. Let's bring it all right back to where we started at. It is my job to prepare and lay the foundation so that the people that can receive the message that is going to come, they can receive it. He set the preparation for what is to come, for what is to be. All right?
Right.
Now, then we go to the next guy with the same name, right?
Right.
Well, why are we bringing up this guy?
Uh-huh.
This guy saw the completion of the project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And he left a record of what he said the project would look like and how it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But he gave an echo. He said, listen, it's not just the fact that we use a certain type of physical or spiritual materials to build this project.
Mm-hmm.
It's the actual workmen and the materials and resources that they use.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the project is completed. That's how it is done. But we don't know that, okay? So we not now. Every time you get two sentences in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these two guys come up, all right?
They do. They do.
You if you just get two sentences in and they come up, right? Well, why is it that they there? That's why. We don't know that. But how did I learn that? I learned that because I spent I'm like 4 or 5 books in on the journey.
Right.
So that's people that's 1,000 books in.
Well,
right?
I'm gonna pause just for a second and share this with you real quick.
Okay.
I just received this in the mail right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's a beautiful book.
I got the video off, but I didn't know if it created echo or not.
Yeah, but that's okay. If you ever have the chance and go back and look at this, I just received this in the mail, man. And to Brother Jackson, who sent this to me, I just want to send him a big shout out, and I want to say thanks. I mean, this.
What's it called, man?
This is called the Masonic Agenda 2022, Ancient and Deceptive Scottish Rite, 33rd degree, Harem Abiff edition.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful book that I gotta put stuff in. It's more like a trestle board.
It's your own personal trestle board.
It's my own personal trestle board. And it takes me through the whole year.
Absolutely.
You know, so
I mean it's okay, so even when you bring that up, right?
Right.
Show you how much we don't study, right? We talk about the secret of the king. You remember that one? That degree?
The Secret of the Kings?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and enlighten me.
Okay, so it's somewhere, it's up there, it's like 27 through 32.
On the Scottish Rite side?
On the on the consistory side, yeah, on the Scottish Rite side.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's like 20, it might be 20, 28, 29.
Okay,
now,
go ahead.
When you start studying what was the secret of the kings, then you find out the order that the kings were supposed to lead life with. Okay?
Okay.
And the covenant that the kings, I mean, you can see this in actual history. Just pick up a history book and read it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The order that the kings were supposed to bring to their kingdoms or nations, right?
Okay.
But since they were unable to properly regulate and delegate and follow a straight path, because very few of them were, to get back to what Brother Douglas was saying, very very few of them were self-introspective. None of them had sought out internal tranquility or peace, right?
Right.
So they couldn't bring peace and proper guidance to their kingdoms or nation states.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just take a look at, say, like Napoleon Bonaparte, right? It's well known Napoleon was witchcraft, right?
Go ahead.
Yes.
You said the king. What degree was that?
It's something like it's up there near like 28 through 28 through 32.
Okay.
Like the secret of the kings. Okay. Or the royal secret. The royal secret.
Oh, okay. All right. The Royal Secrets.
You see that?
Yeah, I got you now. Because I had to go pull out a book, man. When you said Kings of Kings, I'm like, okay, I got it. Okay.
Royal secret, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Since they refused to study the royal secret, right?
Right.
That's why, I mean, literally, I'm not being funny. That's why Europe is in the way it is now, right?
Mm.
So I brought up Napoleon. Napoleon was in the craft, and we know it as well, documented in the history books. But he didn't bring peace, he brought war.
Bro, chaos.
Chaos. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, again, it goes back to, we got these wonderful degrees, and we got this wonderful system, but how much of it are we studying, and then are we applying it to ourselves? You know?
Absolutely. That's the question you asked. Are we applying it to ourselves? And see, when you key words, like when you said Kings of Kings, I'm like, Kings. That made me go pull out a book, and I'm looking because I got different books with different degrees in it. And I'm like, okay, but when you said the Raw Secrets, I get that now. And it's so funny you said that because even in the Raw Secrets, it tells you you're on the road. Let me see, I want to make sure I say that right because you're on the road to, let me see. Now I got to go back and find that. I should have kept that page.
It's something like to become one of the governors of the world.
It's close because when you said that, I didn't know the degree. So, but when you said the Raw Secrets, I'm like, okay, I'm with you. But it says you're on the road to something or another.
Yeah, it does. I don't have my book in front of me right now, but I'm going off what my memory is telling me. But I just was reading this stuff very recently.
Right.
Okay. So nobody told me like, hey, go sit down and actually try to read Albert Pike, right?
Right.
Nobody said that. Nobody said to me like, hey, not only is it Albert Pike, it's like 2-3 other books that a consistory could be based on, right?
There it is.
Okay. I mean, everybody, they knew Albert Pike, or they got a lot of information from Albert Pike, but it is other books. So I just kind of had to assign that to myself. Okay, but I'm the type of person that'll sit down and do that, okay?
Uh-huh.
So, but every other brother is not like that. You know, I as a young man, I was taught to love wisdom more than wealth and jewelry and all of that, okay, and fame and fortune, okay? So, if I only could love wisdom more than all these other things, that the love of wisdom would bring all these things unto me, right?
Uh-huh.
But I can't get the wisdom unless I go into the introspection.
I like that.
And I can't get to the introspection unless I enter to the tranquility and the silence.
Mm. Yeah, I wish I'd have kept that little spot, but it'll probably come back to me when I close off tonight. Opening the consistory.
I got it. You said there's something that you wanted to see it on air, so I may call you back.
Oh, okay. That's no problem. That's no problem. I can share that with you off air.
Yeah.
without disclosing or saying, because I don't want to put something out there and it's not meant for everybody. It's not. I mean, because the
Right.
brother
That's why
shared it with
I'm
me.
trying not to. Like I said, I'm being cautious myself.
Yeah, most definitely. And well, you know what? That's the beauty. We all should be cautious at all times. Be cautious, aware, and alert. Nothing wrong with that at all.
That's right.
But I'm gonna go back to something that Brother Douglas said. This dude here has been on one tonight. Greetings from C. Freemason L, a Moorish brother with great wisdom. I listened to his select. Okay, greetings. How you doing? I'm gonna have to check him out. C. Freeman. I don't know him. L. Grandmaster C. Freeman L. All right, is a Moorish brother. I don't know much about him, but I'm willing to check him out.
Okay.
What's up, Brother Martin? I'm trying to see what Brother Douglas put in. This okay. Thank you. It'll come back. I have to scroll through. But keep going, bro. With what you were saying. My apologies for breaking you off.
No problem. I thought maybe I could clear the line and get somebody else an opportunity to call in.
All right, go ahead. I appreciate you and thank you for your participation.
All right, brother. Have a good night. Happy New Year. I'll keep listening in.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Peace. Greetings, everybody. I was just trying to stroll through. I want to appreciate the caller for calling in. Very interesting conversation to have with anybody who's wanting to call in. That number again is 619-286-0642. That's the nice open line if you want to call in. And it's sort of free fall, but the nice topic is I am that I am. And I know that the brother and I was having a great conversation. Some people may be able to follow, some probably would not. But I get it. I got it. And when you understand and to be able to talk in such a way to where you are having a great conversation with someone and you don't miss a beat, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh man. The initiation of the pyramids or the initiation under the pyramids. I think that's what you was trying to say. But as this year draw to a close, and many of us who have lost loved ones along the way through this year's pandemic, whatever the situation may have been, I would say this: my dearest Masonic brother, Brother Debo L. Taylor, man. For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do know, he passed away this year, and I had a moment a few months back when I found that out. And man, I would say this: we don't know how people walk into our lives and leave their footprints in our lives until they're gone. And as I've said before, that brother Debo L. Taylor, I never physically seen him as far as in the flesh, face to face, a day in my life except through Zoom meetings and YouTube. But that brother touched me Masonically. And I don't mind saying that in such a way to he enlightened me on many aspects of Freemason where I should be able to grow and to be a better Mason. And those are the individuals we need in our Masonic lives and in our lives in general. I'm not going to say that the brother did not have his faults. I'm saying that he was so inspiring to me as a man that it kept me on my toes, although I had my shortcomings. And those are the individuals that we need, not a judgmental person in our lives, but one who's sincerely concerned about who we are as a person in our growth. And he was that brother. And there are many others that most of us have in our Masonic jurisdictions. Let's not forget them. Let's keep them up. And, as we go through this journey, this Masonic journey, walking, and also for the sisters who are walking the labyrinth of life, let's remember to keep our brothers and our sisters in our prayers. Let's do that. We are all alternates. Interesting. That's interesting. you better off reading his brother Albert Churchward. Really? Albert Churchward. I'm going to have to check into that one. Greetings, Marcus Lee. What's going on with you? Hope everything is well with you and yours. Most wishful Prince Hall, Grand Lodge of North Carolina. What's going on with you, brother? Pleased to have you on tonight. And the brother from Finland, it was a pleasure that you checked in on us. I appreciate you. Let's see who else we got in here. The book, The Coming Forth, a.k.a. Book of the Dead. It's a great book to have. It is the roots of the 3 major religion texts. Yep. I likes that. I likes that. The original traveling man. What's going on with you, brother? Happy New Year to everybody, wherever you may be at. And as this clock ticks towards 12 midnight somewhere here in the United States, be it New York to California, you know, West Coast to East Coast. Yeah, another good book is the Secret of Teachings of All Ages. Some individuals who get that book, I have that book here. They get it, and I don't know what happens to them. Oh man, what I'm gonna do right now, before I close out, I'm just gonna share with you some of the books I received this year from different brothers. Man, I want to say, I thank you for your blessings. Okay, this book right here, I was introduced this book right here. This book right here, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. I was introduced this book by brother Brandon Lewis. I had a brain freeze. He introduced me to this book. He told me I should get this book, and I got it. And man, it is not for everybody, because some of you are going to shake your head at a lot of things. But I tell you, this book right here is expiring. It's a great book to have in your library. This is a great book to have. I want to say thank you, Brother Brandon, for sharing that with me. This is a great book. This book was sent to me also. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it was a great book. I've done some reading into it. And man, I'm just thankful that brothers have been able to send me these books. And I'm like, ooh-wee, you know. I don't know what volume is that. Okay, there you go. It really, the true master, volume 1, self to self. That's why tonight I was talking about I am that I am. This book really touches on that. This book right here. This is a good book. This is a good book. All right, here's another book that was sent to me. This is volume 2 of that one. You know, I don't have, I mean, do I sit and read every book? I get into every book, but boy, it's hard to finish every last one of them, because all of them are interesting, and they bring and they shed light on all different topics within Freemasonry. Here's another book. This one right here. Man, let me see, I said, we are still supposed to be slaves. This book right here I received this year. Man, I read this whole book. This book was written by it was by a sister. Her husband is a Mason. It says, to Tony Hawkins, thank you so much for your review of my book. I truly appreciate it. Brother Lynch. Oh, Brother Lynch is the author. I'm sorry. I thought it was his wife, but it's Brother Lynch. He sent me this book. And this is this book right here. I'm just saying. You got to get it. This is just one you got to have in your library. For your kids, your grandkids, your wife, whomever. You got to have this one in your library. Here's another one. Who's the King of Glory? That's the name of this book right here. And man, it's, oh my goodness. So many books. So many different brothers of the craft have shared knowledge, light, and wisdom with me. And I just want to say I thank you and I appreciate you for doing exactly that. This platform, Brother Tony, has provided a bridge to light, a bridge to unite not only African American brothers and sisters, but the greater toward our people because we need it the most. I appreciate that. Brother Richard, I appreciate that. Brother Martin, Happy New Year. Everyone who's on, thank you. I appreciate you. Son 360, right on. What's up? What's going on? Let's see who else we got in here. Jerome, how you doing? Appreciate you. The Book of Coming Forth, aka I read that one. Appreciate you. Brother C. Freeman, Els. It's the audio. I don't know if it's on audio or not. I don't know. What's up, Brother Charles? How you doing? Greetings. Happy New Year to everyone who's coming on. Where can I find the documentation of Napoleon being in the craft? I would tell you this, the best way to research a lot of information is through that personal writings. And I know that Napoleon, people have written about him, but through his personal writings, which you can actually find, you will be able to find that he was part of the craft. I have the sun, moon, and the stars. Okay. All right. I'm just reading some of the texts here. Everybody, I lost connection of Moose. Has some very scholars and researchers. You're better off reading his brother. Okay, I read that one. Boy, I'm trying to get caught up in the chat. That's why it's important that we break the chain that separates us as brothers and sisters, no matter the jurisdictions. We share so much history. Oh, man. That alone should tell you what it's really all about. Lack of knowledge will destroy a person. You damn right it will. Brother Bradford, thank you for putting that in the chat where the brother can find out about Napoleon. I appreciate that. Man, it has really been great to sit here and read through some of the messages. And, you know, as we close out this year with this particular topic, I am that I am, I want to appreciate the caller for calling in. I can't call his name right now. I got to go back and look at another show. He's been on the show a couple of times, and I want to appreciate him for calling back in tonight. And, man, it's just, I'm blessed. My family is healthy. I hope and pray that yours is well also. Oh, man, it's what it is. So, look, I'm going to log off, but definitely I appreciate you. It's the pitfall through. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the email address? Let me guess you hate me because you disagree. Oh, what is that? I don't know. But anyway, look, put the hate aside, agree to disagree, and walk your own path, your own journeys. I love you, and whatever you do, as always, keep your light on, stay out the bushes. Until next time, next year, 2022, let's hit the road running, building bridges, not walls. I'm out.